What's up, people? So let's get into this. This is gonna be a special one here. So, if y'all have been fans of this channel for a while, I have been covering every now and then the Ashoka series because some friends and I have done some group party watches of the show because they were mainly excited about it, and honestly, I have not been impressed since day one. So we had some cool moments here and there, but it's mainly just member berry stuff. This series was pretty much like a live action version of Rebels 2.0. The show is called Ashoka, but it's not really an Ashoka show because it focuses on other characters. And then when you do see Ashoka, she looks like she doesn't want to be there. So let's get into it. So the finale, which is called The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord, which is supposed to be a pun on the Chronicles of Narnia, the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, of course. So the first scene, we have Morgan Elsbeth, who receives the Blade of Taslin. What does it do? What is it supposed to do, or how strong is it? We don't know, but the show does not explain this. She gets this sword from the witches, which grant her a little bit of a power boost because she gets like some tattoos on her face. And then she gets this sword, which we see her use a little bit later. And then we see Admiral Thrawn walk in, and he kind of looks a little bit awkward due to the fact that he's being told that they need to depart. And he says that they need more time, and you can tell that Morgan Elsbeth looks like she's like, no, you've had all the time that you've needed. It's time for us to go. But somehow she complied, and I was surprised that she didn't kill him, because So it flashes over to Ezra making his new lightsaber, because the previous episode, which I didn't review, when they meet Ezra after all this time, he decides he wants to be a pacifist. I don't know, it's stupid. He gives his lightsaber Sabine gives his lightsaber to him, and he says that, no, I don't need it. No, I don't want it. And then basically tells Sabine that he doesn't need that. He can just use the Force, which he only uses a couple of times, and then picks up a blaster to shoot stormtroopers. So he proceeds to make his lightsaber. He has some cringe dialogue with Hu Yang, the robot, some banter and references to Star Wars Rebels with Master Kanan, who was Ezra's master. So we get a reference to that. More member berries from Rebels about Kanan's relationship with Hu Yang, since Hu Yang trained young Jedi. So we're 10 minutes in, and we finally get Ashoka in the scene with our real main character, Sabine. So Sabine and Ashoka have a conversation about Sabine's Jedi training. Ashoka then tells her that wielding a lightsaber isn't what makes you a Jedi. And yes, it does, to a degree, which Sabine says. And I agree with her. I'm like, what the hell? So you don't need a lightsaber, according to Rosario Dawson's Ashoka. I guess anyone could just be a Jedi, just as long as they're strong enough with the Force, which Sabine is not. So then we move on to a battle that's happening during this time too, because after the conversation, we see two TIE fighters shortly attack the Rebels. That's what I'm going to call this group, because it's basically just Rebels, the live action. But it's kind of stupid and anticlimactic. Sabine wanted to use her ship to plow through the attacking TIE fighters, with Ezra and Ashoka using the Force to lift and push Sabine, giving her a boost that barely just clips both of the fighters, which of course also damages the ship a little bit and forces Sabine to crash the ship. But somehow she's okay, and she got up that ship pretty quickly too, along with Hu Yang. So I thought that was quite interesting. Feminist agenda. So now we see that Thrawn is aware of the destruction because he was told about this, and now he wants to attack and set his course as well. And why did Morgan look so much more threatening than Thrawn? Because they had another conversation, and for some reason Thrawn just looks like he swallowed poop or something. He just looks like, I don't know, like he just doesn't look threatening to me. Ezra is also, so they're also like riding on like these horse things, trying to get to their next location. And then of course, Ezra looks feminine, sitting right behind Sabine. It's the two women in the front, the man in the back. So we already get that. Ahsoka asks Ezra if he knows what to expect, and of course he says he doesn't know. We get another battle right away. The infamous scene where Ahsoka is asking Sabine, who cannot use the Force, to open the gate with Ezra, who has his hand out. We see Sabine put her hand out, but of course nothing happens. So now it's all three rebels versus the troopers that are now coming in. And then shortly after flailing around, the fight ends and the troopers are slain. Shortly then we see the witches bring the stormtroopers back to life. They're like resurrected zombie style, and you see them doing like a chant that's reminiscent to the cultists, the red cultists from Resident Evil 4 remake. Ezra had to be saved by Sabine, of course, because you see a scene where a trooper gets a little too close to Ezra and grabs him, which I was thinking to myself, how come Sabine couldn't just take his how come Ezra couldn't just take his lightsaber and just, move his arm, one of his arms, and then just stab through the stormtrooper? He could have did that. And I don't want to hear like, oh, he couldn't have done that, he was grabbed up. He could have moved, there was a way that he could have did it himself, but it was just so Sabine could save him. Feminist agenda. So then, after Thrawn looking like he wants to take a nap, the dead troopers chase the rebels and make it to Morgan's office for a battle. Ahsoka takes her on, and it looks very bad, slow. Ezra and Sabine then leave so they can fight the two elites, with him struggling and then her struggling. There's a scene where he ends up losing the lightsaber and tries to fight him hand to hand, but he could have just used the Force to just grab it right away. So it was kind of drawn out where you see him trying to fight, and of course he's getting his ass beat. And then finally he gets the lightsaber back and then chops off the dude's head, but it's not even that cool because you don't even see it. Like, you see him obviously make the strike to the head, the camera cuts away and you just see the helmet fall off. Lame. And then of course Sabine also uses the Force to grab the lightsaber and toss it towards Ezra. So it's like, wow, so she can use the Force, I guess. So what that means, what I was saying to one of my friends, because we had a debate about this, it seems like Sabine is basically an opposite of Rey. It seems like Dave Filoni and I guess Disney is looking at how Star Wars did, and they were like, fans hated how Rey Skywalker was so perfect, so let's make Sabine imperfect, but then she'll be perfect in the end. Trash. Still feminist agenda. So then we see Sabine and Ezra needing to jump on Thrawn's departing ship, and then we see Sabine use Force powers again. So it's like, wow, so out of nowhere, when she had no potential, she was told this the whole show, and now all of a sudden she has Force powers. I guess, it's a Jedi bargaining sale, So Sabine arrives to help Ahsoka fight Morgan because they're having this drawn out fight, of course. And then Ahsoka is saying that she's not alone and she'll be able to take her on, but then Sabine shows up and says she's not alone. So then they both but of course there was clones there too, so she had to deal with the clones. So then after a little bit of struggling, which wasn't really that much, and they looked like two old women in their 50s fighting too, like the choreography was so slow and bad, Ahsoka easily sliced and defeated her by herself. And it's like the kills aren't even satisfying in this show. They're all anticlimactic. She did it by herself, and the fight was just over in seconds after this long drawn out scene of us not seeing them fight because we were focused on the other's action. So then after Morgan is slain, Ahsoka and Sabine escape on a ship that was conveniently there where they needed it to be for them to leave. Thrawn then meets Ahsoka and mentions that he knew Anakin or Darth Vader. We don't know. Thrawn sounds so bored as well because now they're in space with Ahsoka and the rebels, and then there's a scene where he's having a conversation with them saying, hey, we never met, now we're gonna meet face to face, but before I do, I just want to let you know that long live the Empire. Then boom, disappears. It's like, wait, what? And then they get thrown off track or whatever because it messes up their ship, and then all of a sudden they're just back in their snail village, I guess. And then when they finally get back and mention what happened, oh yeah, Thrawn escaped. It's like, wait, what? So to me, and it's just like all of this happened. Mind you, I wrote all of this down. This is on my notes. This all happened in a matter of 36 minutes, and it was presented as a 40-minute episode. And that's not including the intro and the recap and the credits. So I just wasted my time for all of this. Seriously, what was this show about? We had a plot, but then that plot was kind of thrown away. And then the plot was find Ezra, refine Ezra. And now what? It was like, okay, here's a map to find them. They got the map was destroyed, and they find Ezra. But then Thrawn is also on the horizon. Thrawn says that he wants to fight him, but then he doesn't fight him. He says, I'm not going to fight you today. I'm going to fight you another day. So it's like Disney Star Wars is setting up all these stories for like these rebel characters or whatever characters to fight a major threat. But when they fight that major threat, it's somebody slightly different. And then when that major threat comes, aka Thrawn, he's just kind of in the background and he's like, hey, nice to meet you. I'll see you guys later. It's like, man, this show was a waste of time. Star Wars is dead, especially Disney Star Wars. I've wasted my time with this. And I just want to put this video out here because people are eating this show up saying it's good. It's not good. It's really not. Now, you can say that you like it and then be like, all right, I like it, but I'll acknowledge that it's bad. But there's idiots going out there saying that this is good and that if you don't like it, you don't understand it, and it's not for you, and that you just don't understand the story. What are some things that you would do to make the show better? It doesn't matter. The show is. Yeah, but just to finish up, Disney Star Wars, especially Disney Star Wars and Marvel, it's like, what's going on with products nowadays? And I used to be kind of lazy on YouTube, but I'm definitely going to start putting out more videos often because it's like I'm bored now. Besides doing work and school stuff and doing whatever else to keep me busy, when I come home and have my own free time, it's like there's nothing to watch. There's nothing interesting to watch. Nothing entertainment wise. Things are woke now. A lot of shows aren't airing right now because of the writer's strike. It's like, damn, can we get something good? Can we stop with the feminist and gay agenda? Can we just have good stories? We already have that in real life. Can we just get these stories to take us away? It's like, damn, Marvel sucks, DC sucks, Star Wars sucks now too. And then believe it or not, it's starting to, the wokeness and the gay agenda and all that race swapping and stuff is starting to affect anime now too. So it's like, damn, Marvel suck, DC suck, and anime suck. Where do we go? She don't wanna be saved, don't save her. 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 She don't wanna be saved.